Welcome to Between the Notes. Today we're diving into a track that just stops you in your tracks. It's the final song on Baby Keem's album Casino, and it's called No Blame. And man, this thing completely flips the entire album on its head, right at the very end. You've just gone through this whole album, right? It's all high energy, chaotic bravado, and then this song hits. No Blame is just completely different. It's stark, it's atmospheric, and one critic put it perfectly, calling it a sonic decompression chamber. It's like the album takes a deep breath, filtering all that noise down into this one raw, vulnerable point. So that's the big question, right? What happens when all that swagger just fades away? Well, that's what we're going to get into. We're going to break down how the sound, Keem's performance, and some incredibly raw lyrics build this powerful story about trauma and, maybe even more importantly, about forgiveness. Okay, so let's start with the soundscape, because really, the story here doesn't even begin with the lyrics. It starts with the music itself. And it's all about what isn't there, this feeling of restraint. You might expect this big, grand finale to the album, right? But Keem and his producers, they do the exact opposite. They build the whole thing on this single ghostly sample. It creates this cold, almost sterile sound. It's all about negative space. That emptiness makes it feel huge and kind of lonely, but also really tight and claustrophobic at the same time. Now, check this out. The sample they use is from a James Blake track called I Never Learned to Share. And the way it just loops over and over, it's not random. It perfectly mirrors that cyclical nature of trauma and memory that Keem is digging into. It really feels like a conversation between the past and the present, like a ghost that just won't leave the room. So, you've got this haunted soundscape, right? And that sets the stage perfectly for Keem's performance. Because his voice on this track, wow, it's a total 180 from everything else on the album. Yeah, forget all those high-pitched, energetic flows you're used to. He ditches them completely. His voice here sounds heavy. One writer said it's like the weight of the Chicago streets is physically pressing down on his diaphragm. It's this tired, grounded delivery that just screams exhaustion. But also, you can hear this newfound maturity in it. And that vocal choice is absolutely crucial, you know? It makes everything feel so immediate and real. It lets the raw honesty of what he's about to say hit with full force. And what he says? Well, he starts unpacking these incredibly painful, vivid memories from his childhood. He kicks it off with this one specific, absolutely heart-wrenching memory. He was just 7 years old, waiting in his pajamas for his mom, Janice. She promised she'd come home, but she didn't. And it just gets more intense from there. He talks about these moments of pure instability and fear, referencing his mom's run-ins with the law, and even the terror of his grandma telling him that she had died. I mean, can you even imagine? And he doesn't hold back at all. He confronts the reality of his mom's struggles head on, even questioning how she could be pregnant while taking Xanax. He talks about this lingering trauma that made their own house feel haunted. You can just feel how all this pain was piling up, right? It wasn't just one thing. It was his dad disappearing, and on top of that, his mom's struggles, which led to her being in jail. It was all happening at once. Okay, so he's laid all this pain bare. It's raw, it's out there, and right when you think this is a song about anger or resentment, it reveals its true purpose. And honestly, it's probably not what you'd expect. So here is the absolute key to the whole track. No Blame isn't a song about pointing fingers. It's not an angry takedown. It's an act of empathy. It's a reflection on family, trauma, and this really complex idea of forgiveness. And you hear it from the very first line. I don't blame you, Mama. He repeats that phrase over and over like a mantra. It's him telling us, and maybe telling himself, that despite all the pain he just laid out, he's making a choice not to hold on to that resentment. And it goes even deeper than forgiveness, really. He's trying to understand. He puts her actions into context. He sees that she was walking those Chicago streets alone, dealing with her own trauma, with heavy stuff weighing on her conscience. He sees her not just as his mother, but as a person with her own history of pain. And in choosing to show empathy, instead of just passing judgment, Keem does something amazing. He takes this incredibly personal, specific story, and he makes it universal. There's this great analysis from Hip Hop Therapy that says he captured the complex parent dynamic perfectly. And that's it. Right there. The song just hits a nerve with anyone who's had to deal with that tough moment when you realize your parents are just people, flawed people.
So the whole song becomes this search for what you could call a balanced understanding of the people who raised us. It's about looking at the pain they might have caused, acknowledging it, but not letting it turn into bitterness. And that struggle, that search, is exactly why this song means so much to so many people.
So in the end, No Blame leaves us with this really powerful question. It kind of makes you wonder, right? Can understanding actually be a more powerful tool than blame? The song suggests that maybe, just maybe, that kind of compassion is the key to breaking these painful cycles for good.